Hi, it's Emma here from Women's Health and Hormones. Today I want to have a chat to you about why it's so important to address the underlying root cause of your hormonal imbalance. And if this is something that sounds interesting to you and you want to take a deeper dive, you might also be interested in downloading a copy of my book, the Hormone Breakthrough Book, and you can access a digital download of that book at balancehormones.com.au/book. And I'll put the link of that in the comments of the post as well. So anyway, back to addressing the underlying root cause of your hormonal imbalance. If you don't address, or if you don't attempt to identify and address the underlying root cause of your hormonal imbalance and your symptoms, what that means is that really you're just tiptoeing around in the symptomatic layer of addressing what's going on. You might have taken some herbs or supplements, or trying to make a few changes to help to give you symptomatic relief. But until you actually identify and address the underlying root cause of what's going on, it's going to be almost impossible for you to achieve long-term improvements and really good outcomes. As an example here, I just wanted to tell you a little bit more about one of my patients, Sarah. Sarah was a beautiful lady who came to see me because she was suffering from heavy periods and she wanted to try and get to the bottom of what was going on. She had a desire to address the underlying root cause of her symptom. And it was fantastic. She was a beautiful lady to work with because she was fully aware that just, staying in that symptomatic layer wasn't going to give her the long-term resolution. It was just like filling in the potholes rather than resurfacing the road, and her interest was in resurfacing the road so that she could see the long-term improvements in her health and well-being. So we went ahead and did some saliva hormone testing and a couple of other tests as well to try and figure out why her periods were so heavy. She had a pelvic ultrasound done and a couple of other things as well. But her results were really interesting, especially from her saliva hormone test. Through the saliva hormone test, we uncovered that she actually wasn't ovulating. So she was still having a regular period and the period was very heavy, but she actually wasn't ovulating. And we call those anovulatory cycles. And it can happen for women from time to time for a number of different reasons. A really common reason is, try and get that, yeah. I had a notification pop up then on the camera. So a couple of really common times when it occurs are for teenage girls, so during adolescence, and also for women in their 40s and 50s as they're heading towards that perimenopausal phase. So what happens when your body doesn't ovulate but you're still having a regular period is that the levels of estrogen still do their normal thing, but progesterone levels drop significantly because progesterone is primarily produced by the corpus luteum, which is what's left over of the follicle after the egg's released. So that's where the majority of progesterone is produced. So if your body's not ovulating, you're not producing much progesterone, which means progesterone's not able to do those wonderful job, or the wonderful job that it has of counteracting some of the negative effects of estrogen. And one of the things that estrogen does is that it causes cellular proliferation, and it has an effect on the endometrium where it increases the thickening of the endometrium. And normally if there's enough progesterone in the system at the same time, it counteracts that thickening effect, which means that the period is less heavy as a result of that because there's less shedding of the endometrium. The endometrium isn't as thick. However, if you're not ovulating and your body's not producing the progesterone, as was the case for this lovely patient of mine, that was the underlying root cause of her problem. So then we needed to work towards helping her body re-establish ovulation. And we did that using a combination of nutrients and some herbal medicine to support ovulation, and also working with her diet and lifestyle to do everything that we could to support ovulation in her case and support ovarian function, which led to really good outcomes. She started ovulating again, and her hormones came back into balance as a result of that, and she felt a lot better, and her periods were a lot lighter, and we were able to also address her fatigue, which was caused by anemia due to the heavy periods. So if you're interested in finding out more about the potential underlying root cause of your hormonal imbalance, you might like to take a deeper dive by downloading a copy of my book, The Hormone Breakthrough, which you can access at www.balancehormones.com.au/book. And that'll help you a lot. So remember, addressing the underlying root cause of your symptoms is like resurfacing the road. If all you do is stay in that symptomatic layer and just do make a couple of changes, try this, try that to try and relieve your symptoms without actually identifying and addressing the underlying root cause, all you're really doing there is filling in the potholes. If you want to see long-term improvements, like my beautiful patient did, and like most of the women I work with do, and in that case, what you need to really do is focus on resurfacing the road, not just filling in the potholes. Address the underlying root cause of what's going on, and you'll get a really good result. I hope this has been helpful for you, and I look forward to chatting to you again soon. And just again, if you did want to find out some more information about how this approach could help you with balancing your hormones, have a look at my book, www.balancehormones.com.au/book, and you can download a digital copy of the book there. Great to speak to you, and I'll talk to you again next time. Bye for now.